All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Bob here, Ken here. As you can see, we are not in the shop this week. We're at my house. It's a little awkward. Every time you come into the house, I like it better when you're down by the street. Less shenanigans to be had in the place I live. Anyway.
Do you know why I prefer to be here?
Why is that?
Because I walk in the door, I sit down next to Bob's computer, we're going through some things, and I realize all of your daughter's Halloween candy aren't in this room.
As any parent can attest, the 3 or 4 days after Halloween, the kids didn't want to eat because they were full on candy. So I had to confiscate the candy.
So you can ration it out.
And so get a piece here, get a piece there. But the problem with that logic is
that we eat it all.
Well, I put it in my office where I sit and work all day long. So I think I've eaten half the bags myself. And then
I've had 10 pieces
you
in an hour and a half I've been here.
So sorry, kids, if you see this in 10 years from now, when you know what YouTube is.
I'll buy you a candy bar.
Anyway, so we've been back for Moab for a week or two here at this point. Just kind of wanted to sit down and talk about, I guess, our thoughts on our experience. First time having been to Moab, the mecca of off-roading, and just some general observations, I guess, that we have. So what are your initial thoughts, Ken? We spent better part of the week there, ran some trails, saw some things, hung out with some cool people. Anything that really jumps out to you? Any key takeaways?
Moab is Moab. Moab is the mecca of wheeling, right? It's the place everybody desires to go. Probably the two that you hear the most about would be Moab and Rubicon.
Yeah,
so Moab is amazing for a lot of reasons, and it's not what I would expect of a wheeling destination for some other reasons.
I agree.
I loved it though. It's like the trails are awesome, the scenery is amazing. But I think you nailed it perfect on your description of it. And I guess, I don't know, it's very uniquely different.
So for me, my first, my general observations on what I saw, absolutely loved it. Definitely want to go back. It is second to none in scenery, abundance of trails in such a small location. And I mean, just anything that you can do, if you just want to go out for a quick 2-track drive and go see some scenery all the way up to some crazy hard wheeling.
Yeah.
Everything is very well marked.
Yes.
You literally can't get lost on any of these trails. I am accustomed to what we normally do, which is kind of go out exploring and kind of find our way. Downloaded a metric ass ton of GPS tracks and everything of all these trails, and I don't even think I turned my GPS app on. It was literally oh, you go down to this road and turn left, and there's the trail, and then there's an arrow that you just follow arrows everywhere. So from that aspect, I think, what I told you, was it feels like a freaking amusement park.
Yes.
You go there's lines. Here's the line for this one. You really can't just go out and explore, which is what I really like doing.
And so I can respect that. They want you to tread lightly. They don't want you making trails. And we would never do such a thing. That would be ridiculous to think that. But it is very, very, very structured.
Yes.
But again, they have stuff that you can do that you'll never probably find anywhere else in the world.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, what Moab has to offer is absolutely amazing. I think the town was slightly shocking to me in how small town feel it is.
Super touristy, though, isn't it?
It's more expensive. It's more expensive to eat there than it is downtown New York. I had dinner downtown New York this year, and it was way cheaper than eating Moab.
Yeah. I'm sure that's got to be seasonal too. You think in Moab? I don't know.
I wonder if there's a local rate and a non-local rate.
So to your point, the campground, we got a non-hookup site.
Yeah.
We didn't have any water, didn't have any sewer, didn't have anything. It was literally enough to fit the 2 Jeeps in.
Yeah.
And it had a picnic table and a thing where you could charge your phone and stuff.
Yep.
And it was $50 a night.
Yeah.
Which is less than what I paid to go up north in peak summer season.
I thought the campground was awesome.
It was absolutely awesome.
The price was awesome.
The bathrooms
were pretty darn good.
The bathrooms alone are worth the money.
Yeah, absolutely. The campground I thought was amazing, and I think most of Moab is amazing, but it is ultra insanely touristy.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's probably a product of its own popularity.
Listen,
it's just what's going to happen.
I'll tell you, the minute we pulled into town, not the first night because it was pitch black when we got there, which, by the way, I don't know if I'm going to put the picture in the video, but the picture we were taking that first campground.
That was sweet.
With the moon, the moon was so bright, it kind of illuminated the whole night. It was so awesome. But the next morning, when we got there, we're driving through town, and I see all those Jeeps full of people driving through, and I'm like, oh, it's one of those kind of places where you just pay someone $50 and like take me and the family and go, take us on an adventure. It reminded me a lot because we saw those like pink Jeep tours when we were out in like Sedona and all that stuff. It reminded me a lot of that. Very touristy. But the wheeling was absolutely phenomenal. It really was.
And the trails were great. So like once you're out on the trails are great. They're very, very structured, but you have to enjoy and respect what it is because you'll never find anything like that anywhere.
No. And again, for me, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved my time there. Plan on going back, wheeling there, a shit ton more. Like we talked about, like every time we're out west, like, hey, if you're there, why not cruise there for a day or two, pick up a couple trails and, kind of keep on your way.
You can spend literally a month there and probably not hit every trail.
No, absolutely
not. There's just way too much to even possibly connect with all at once.
No, absolutely. And then, but like, is it my favorite wheeling destination?
Not mine at all.
I don't think it is.
Nope,
I don't think it is. I can definitely see the appeal, right? If you're someone that is like enjoys like the structure of things versus like I just want to go out and explore and find my own stuff.
There's no exploring.
There's no exploring there.
There's none of that. But I don't think that for hardcore rock crawling, maybe you should be exploring. I think maybe you should know where you're at. There are different companies out in Moab that can recover you and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I mean, there's a lot to be said for what Moab brings to the table, which is absolutely fabulous. But I don't think it's quite our style.
No, it's not. I love just kind of, we were
not knowing where we're going.
Well, we were talking a lot about it, right, on the radio during this entire trip, and it was, the chatter was really about, like, okay, how does this compare to, like, our favorite place down in New Mexico? And it was like, it's awesome, the wheeling is great, but what I love is, like, hey, the road forks. Which way do you want to go? And it's like, we don't know what's around either corner. I didn't get that feeling at all in Moab. The other part is, like, when we're on our trips, like out west in like New Mexico and everything, it's like all BLM land.
Yep.
And it's not nearly as like regulated as Moab was.
Yep.
So you could wheel basically to like, screw it, I'm tired, or hey, this looks like a great place, let's just pull off the trail and camp right here.
Yep.
And I love that exploration or, just going out and just literally knowing nothing and then just seeing where you end up. And I really love that part of it. And Moab, it's like, here's a trail, go back to town. Here's a trail, go back to town.
Yep.
Here's a trail, go to the campground. And that's really what it was. And
well, that's essentially what Moab is.
Well, and it's a different type of trip.
Yep.
I enjoyed it.
I would go back tomorrow.
But that's not what I enjoy doing the most.
Agreed.
Like, is the wheeling in Moab technical and difficult? And absolutely you can find that stuff. Probably things that are way more challenging than
what we want to do.
I would ever want to do. But you know where that is and you have to go seek it out. I like going around this turn and saying, well, I don't know what's around the corner, but I'm gonna have to freaking figure it out.
Yep.
To get to,
and that's what most of our trips are. A lot of times when we like literally like in Socorro, I remember we were weaving through this little valley, and all of a sudden I just stopped. You're like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, well,
and we just pulled up, and it was like full buggy central. Like we had ledges literally 8 feet tall, and I'm just like, there's no way. But we literally didn't even know where we were. We just turned around, we're like, well, we're gonna explore a different way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the description that everybody gives to Moab, 100% accurate.
Yes.
But I didn't understand it when they say it is a wheeling destination. You go there to wheel, and that's pretty much it. You don't go there to go like overlanding and like go like pitch a tent or stop early on the trail and like take 2 days to do this one and cook dinner and have some drinks. Like that's not what it is. You run a trail and then you go back to wherever you're staying that night.
Yep.
So now I get it. I understand it. It's like you go there and you're like, okay, I want to go run this trail. I want to go run that trail. It is a destination for wheeling. It's not.
And it will be a destination again for us.
Absolutely.
We are going back. I would never, ever, ever say to don't go back.
No, and I think I mentioned it even in the video. If you go back a few weeks for the Top of the World, that is one of my favorite trails that I've ever run.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
I can't wait to go back.
It was equal parts. Okay, like hey, get a little bit of the what I call it, like the Sunday two tracking vibe, right? Where it's like a little bit of two track, super easy, and then you get into like, hey, that's a pretty killer obstacle. Then you get to actually climb some rocks. And then you get to the top, and it's got to be hands down one of the best views I've seen. Like, I don't even know how to do it justice. It is definitely in my top 3 trails in terms of just like all around, challenge, scenery, like experience, everything. And definitely want to go back and, want to run that one again several times and still go explore some of these other ones that we don't even know much about or haven't heard about,
Yeah. No, there's more there than we can do in a large period of time, especially we have families and work and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like we can take off for 2 months on end. I loved the wheeling itself, the off-road trails themselves were just second to none. That's why Moab has the reputation it does.
It is. Absolutely.
Once you leave the trail, I was not in love with Moab. I didn't love the town. I didn't love the touristy feel of everything every store you walked into felt touristy.
Oh, yeah.
Just not my gig. I felt like I was in like an adult Cedar Point the whole entire time, like an adult Six Flags for Jeepers.
Yeah.
And dude, there was more mountain bikes and like hikers and kayakers that you could even shake a stick at, which is amazing that they're out there enjoying their beautiful world as well.
Absolutely, and I will say, I see them online all the time. Obviously, nobody's going to be doing anything with one of these things in Michigan, but I saw my first 3 or 4 the first day we were there, like the first couple miles before we hit the trail, those earth roamers. And I always see it, I'm like, where do you even wheel them? Like, where do you take those things? Like, there's no room or space. You have plenty of room in Moab. Yeah. You can take those things just about anywhere out there. And I get it because they fit, but that's not what I'm accustomed to.
Those things are way bigger than I thought. They're huge.
You can fit both of our Jeeps in the back of one of them things.
So what was your favorite one thing about Moab?
My favorite one thing about Moab, I'm going to go back to what I just said. I get why it's so popular. That's flat out just the wheeling. I felt wildly uncomfortable, which you can attest and always consider, laugh at me all the time.
So that's actually funny because that was my favorite thing, was making you uncomfortable.
Well, I'm telling you, like, I don't do steep inclines. That is not me. I have never, we don't have mountains out here. I have not spent my life crawling up super steep things. So Ken was laughing at me because on fins and things, every time we went on the corner, it was one of the easiest trails. He's like, you do realize this is one of the easiest trails? Absolutely. It was not technical at all. It was messing with my mind, though. I'm like, 36-degree incline on this. I'm like, how is this an easy one? In the back of my head, I'm like, if this is the easy one, like, you're not even going to be able to wheel anything. Like, it's just all in your head. But man, like, you can find anything that you want to challenge you, out there, whether it's rocks, steep inclines or even declines or just beautiful scenery, like whatever you want, you are going to find it there. I totally get why this is like the Mecca and why it's so popular.
Absolutely.
My favorite thing absolutely was some of the obstacles, that we got to run, on top of the world. When we kind of went up the one side, and then on the trail with the jamboree, in the pickle, a couple of those obstacles on that day were, if I could just say, hey, like, what was your single favorite thing that we did while we were there? I'd be like that obstacle and that obstacle, right? So that super nasty section and top of the world was super awesome. I love that, and then that first and the last obstacle on the pickle, it was wheeling. It was rock crawling, and that's what I really like. I didn't feel like I was going to die and flip myself over and kill myfe. So how about you? What was your favorite thing? Other than making me uncomfortable.
My favorite thing was making you uncomfortable, and my other favorite thing was the fact that you left a day early.
I did. I had to leave a day early.
No, honestly, I liked Moab. I really like the trails. I like our methodology of how we attack trails. We start with the easier trails, and as we continue to go in, we'll hit the harder and harder ones. We don't want to hit the hard ones at the beginning because then what the hell do you have to look forward to other than scenery?
Well, that, plus if you break something, you're going to ruin the rest of your trip, right?
Yeah, well, there's that too. But as we continue to go back to Moab, we'll continue to work our way up towards the harder ones. It's not that I'm afraid of the harder ones. I've been doing hard wheeling my whole life, but I've also avoided Moab my whole life for various personal reasons. And now here we are finally going to Moab. It was not what I was hoping Moab to be, I suppose.
Really?
No.
Do you think a lot of it was you've been hearing this for so long that it just kind of got these expectations
just absolutely
super built up, and then you get there and it's like, wah, wah, wah.
That's exactly what happened to me. I've been hearing about Moab my whole life. I've avoided it my whole life for several personal reasons. And now that we go and I get there, I'm like, well, we do need to hit the 8s and 9s because everything from 4 to 7 sucks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't suck. It's beautiful. It's hard. But I love hard rock wheeling. And I have more, I have more experience with that than you do. I've been accustomed to it. I've been doing rock climbing a long time, so I just have more seat time than you do. To where you're still working your way in, I'm still helping you get into it. But then you're big into the camping overlanding side of things, and that was never really my thing. But you kind of taught me and I've been helping you learn how to rock crawl. You've been helping me learn how to just relax and chill.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. We bring something different to the table. I enjoyed Moab. I loved getting to hang out with some of our friends. You know, Best Top, Rancho, Rusty's, General, all the manufacturers were there. I have relationships with those companies. It's nice to be able to see them. You know, got to spend some time with Armorlight. They were there. That was awesome to see them as well. I got to spend some time with you, and I enjoyed all that. But the trails were just not what I've had built in my head over my whole entire lifespan.
No, absolutely. I can totally see that. Like for me, you know, I've been Jeeping a long time, but it's like around Michigan, you know, hitting 2 tracks is really all it is. There's nothing super challenging, and it was all new to me, right? Just the level of like discomfort I felt in some of those situations. It really pushes you. But I will say though, and I think I just told you just off camera before we started filming, that having had the JL built and have gone like 3 or 4 trips, big trips on it with you, I'm getting infinitely more comfortable. I'm learning it.
Your driving skill has changed in a lot.
Oh, it has in just a short amount of time. And I think if I had gone to Moab as the first trip in that JL, I probably would not have had fun like I did here, because trying to learn that coupled with like I'm not sure how to climb up this massive like rock ledge and things that I've never seen before, it would have just been way too overwhelming. But those last few days there, I thought was, for me, technically, some of the best driving that I've done in terms of like throttle control and everything.
Your smoothness has changed a lot. You've learned a lot over the last few
years. Absolutely. And it's nice to continue to go on these trips with you, because I'm learning a lot. I'm pushing myself. I'm doing things that I never felt comfortable doing. But then I also get to slow down and
relax.
Do some camping and chill, and
I like
cooking by the fire and stuff.
I like pushing you really hard. Like, I like it when I can tell that he's getting uncomfortable or that he's nervous about something, because I'm like, sweet, I can teach him a skill set, throttle control, these different things. And here we are 3 years later, and you're a totally different driver. Totally different driver from when me and you first started hanging out.
It's different. I mean, honestly, I've wheeled that TJ for 15 years. It is not at all in the same ballpark, as this JL. So, like, the way that it responds when I give it gas, step on the brake, turn the. It's like it all just feels different. I'm getting way more comfortable.
So I'm going to change something for Moab on our next trip, though. So we're going to start with the easy trails, work our way up. We're just going to go way up. We're just going to go up, because I don't think I can do the 3s and 4s anymore. I'm going to drive myself back crap crazy.
I think you got to mix it in every once in a while.
That's it. I need a little. If we're not going to be doing the exploring and the some of the other crazier stuff that we get into, I need to mix in some harder.
Do you know what I really appreciated about this trip is
that I had hydro steering and you didn't.
had hydro steering and you didn't. Absolutely, that didn't matter to me at all, right? On some of these, you're like turn left. I'm like, I've been trying to turn left for like 10 minutes here, man. Anyway, what I really appreciated, which was like a stark difference, in comparison to our other trips, where like we're out west in New Mexico or Arizona or wherever, Texas, California, and we wheel and we find and we're out just exploring, and those kind of trips, I mean, it is like a day-long adventure. By the time we get to camp, it's like 10 o'clock, sometimes even later. I think we got to Big Bend at like 1 in the morning. I mean, it is late. You can't see anything. And we're like, hurry up, eat a meal, and then like go to bed, right? So we can wake up and do it all over again. Where in Moab, it was like, we run this trail, we go back to the campground. It's like 3 in the afternoon. We're hanging out. We got to do some.
We didn't even know what to do at our time. Like, we would get to the campground and be like,
what do we do now? We got like 4 hours of daylight left, and normally we'd be like, let's go fill them with some wheeling. Here we're like, well, hey, let's go make a kick-ass salmon dinner or something. And let's just like chill and chatting by the fire. And I really like that part. It was completely different than what we normally do, which is wheel, sleep, wake up, wheel, sleep, wake up. You know what I mean? So
now we were done halfway through the day going, whoa, what do you do now? What do you do? We've never had a trip where we weren't running 24 hours a day, it seemed like. It was nice to just stop and chill and relax.
Oh, it was cool, because you got a lot of like technical wheeling, beautiful scenery, and then also like just hanging out, relaxing, talking,
And the trails that we ran, I find extremely, extremely easy.
Yeah, they were not.
But I'm telling you what, if you weren't built and you went in there and 35's not locked, you could have some major problems.
Some people that we were with were struggling in some places to get up some of those things that you and I just crawled up. But I mean, that's just a testament to how we built the Jeeps. Really.
So if you were a lesser built vehicle, even the easy trails could be an absolute damn nightmare.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Absolutely. Let alone if you had any breakage whatsoever, that whole day just got infinitely difficult.
Yeah, 100%. So all right, well, so we're going again. I mean, we've kind of decided we're going to go check out some of these trails. But again, it's it's a destination. We're not going to go out and
No.
Camp and wild camp and go do all that stuff there. Although we did that one night.
But as far as the overall wheeling, I mean, 10 out of 10. I mean, Moab is Moab for a reason.
I get it now.
Yeah, I totally get it. Moab is Moab for a reason. If you want to save a crap ton of money, find a campsite just outside of town and take your food with you.
Yep.
Because in town, it is insanely expensive.
Even McDonald's was expensive.
And I don't really care about that, nor do I. If I go back, I'll still go to dinner too. But
well, we did.
Yeah,
we went out to dinner.
If you want to save a lot of money, grab a campground, go rustic camping, take your food with you. You'll save a shit ton.
You're just gonna drive a while. That's the thing. You're gonna be out of town if you're doing the wild camp thing.
Yep. Yeah, you got 25-minute drive at minimum.
Yep. So plan for that. But no, absolutely, it was awesome. I loved it.
I can't wait to go again.
I can't wait to go again. And like you said, it's gonna be different, right? We're not gonna go sit there for a week and do a bunch of different stuff. It's gonna be on our way by. We'll hit a couple trails.
Yep.
So we'll know what we'll be getting into ahead of time.
Yep. I think that's a good plan for us. Like if we're out last doing a big trip, you can swing by Moab on the way home and hit a trail and go home.
Yeah.
Just kind of pick them off one at a time every time you go through the area.
No, absolutely. I get like some people probably aren't going to agree with our assessment of like what it is and
absolutely
how to go through it. But again, everybody I mean, you get to do your own thing, right? Like this is the type of wheel we like to do. Where we just go out, explore, and spend the day kind of venturing and seeing what the hell's around the corner. And
we like to be very, very, very different from a large percentage of you folks. There's no right or wrong or indifferent. Some people like off-road only parks. Some people are rock bouncers and they like crap that I could never even imagine doing. Yeah. Some guys are desert runners. I mean, everybody's gonna have their different thing. We kind of like the more off-the-grid exploring. I don't like using the word overlanding because I don't even understand really what that means. I like going wherever the hell I want to go. If that means I have to crawl over rocks to go camping, then that's what I'm going to go do. I don't really know that I classify myself as an overlander. I can class myself as a rock crawler that likes to go camping. And I don't even know where I'm going camping.
You're a camping meathead. You just want to go drive around until you get tired and then say, right here,
That's pretty much me.
I'm going to go mix my tequila or my vodka and ice right here.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I roll. So, and I like the exploring part of it. And I guess everybody's going to have their own expectations and desires of what they need their trips to be. I would absolutely never say don't go to Moab because it is an absolute. It's a mecca for the reason. It's a mecca for the reason, but it's not somewhere that I have a desire to go to tomorrow.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll definitely go back.
We'll do some other trips and we'll catch Moab on the way home. Yeah, concept.
Yeah, absolutely. Go catch a trail or two for a day and then on the way as you're passing through. Absolutely. All right. Anything else?
Awesome.
Any last minute thoughts? How was the drive back without me?
Amazing.
Was it good?
It was quiet.
Quiet, silent.
Yeah.
He got a speeding ticket. He loves Iowa. I don't know if you're from Iowa, if you ever watch this.
Iowa can suck it.
You're his favorite state right now. I will say.
Wait, hold on. Why do I get a speeding ticket on every trip?
That is correct. But the funny part though is like I'm with him on all of these trips and I have never gotten one.
It's reverse racism.
It's reverse racism. That's exactly what it is. And I approve of that message. What I was gonna say, I don't want to incriminate myself, because I think that's a word.
You were going faster than me.
I was in a hurry to get back. I don't know that you were in much of a hurry because I had to catch a flight for work.
You were going faster than
I was. Made a quick detour to Canada and drove really, really fast the whole way through. It was not Iowa. Definitely was not Iowa. But
it was totally Iowa.
But I did not get a ticket.
Yeah, I sent him a text message. Wait a minute. He goes, "Holy crap! I bet you I got one coming."
But did you get pulled over to get this ticket?
No, it's a damn camera.
Well, there you go.
I wasn't even in the car. It could have been anybody. It could have been aliens.
In Canada, they didn't have.
You did not go to Canada. Stop lying. You guys stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Thanks.